Everything from the court to the field, mixed with the business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports, Two Men On with your hosts, Van Nunley and Fred Slow, with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sport.
Hey, yo. What it is, Duke City. Happy Friday, y'all. Welcome to the program. Welcome to Two Men On. Welcome to 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. One Van Nunley here on the mic, on the other side of the glass. Super producer here at KNML and KKOB, Isaiah Johnson. Zay.
Yes, sir.
You had a day, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Triple header? You have a triple header?
Just a little bit. We're getting a little used to those. Nothing wrong with the triple header.
How do you go through the day? Do you like extra caffeine, extra snacks? What's your secret to make it through a 12-hour day today?
So when I do opening drive in the morning, the first thing I do is I come in, I get the cup of coffee before the show starts, of course. Then usually by like the show ends at 10, I get home at like 10:30. The coffee crash comes around then, so I get to nap.
Little disco nap.
Yeah,
okay,
so
I got you.
I get that nap until about 12:20, and then I come back for BV's show, and then I can get through the rest of the day.
So then you rock it here.
Yeah. Then I can just go ahead and, because at this point I'm already in the flow. I've got my nap. I've got the coffee. You know, everything that needs to be done has been done. Hayes in the barn. So now I just got to produce, literally.
What was that? Hayes in the barn?
Hayes in the barn.
Hayes in the barn? Okay. Isaiah's showing his country colors out here. All right. I see you out here, Zay.
The Hayes in the barn.
All right. I had coffee this morning. I had tea this afternoon. I got a green tea now. Once it hits 5 o'clock, I'm going to have me a nice little Rio Bravo Brewing Mexican lager.
Oh,
that's the anti-caffeine right there.
Okay.
Balance me back out. But I didn't need any caffeine today because all I needed was those sun rays that kept hitting me all day. 59 degrees, almost hit 60 today. No wind, just sun and sexy Albuquerque spring weather.
Yeah,
dig this, Zay. Saturday, 59. Sunday, 64. Monday, 70 degrees.
Wow.
We're hitting 70 already, baby. I am so excited. Spring training is here. Baseball's back.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Pitchers and catchers report. My seasonal depression is going away. Thank you, weather.
We're filling out credentials and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's officially here.
Isotopes baseball's coming back. United Soccer's coming back. Oh, my God, I'm so excited. This is the type of year, Zay, you might not have noticed because I put on a good face. But in the doldrums of winter, I'm not doing my best. I'm not peak Van.
It is.
So I love having a little bit of time off so I could see my family. That picks me up. That gets me through it. I'm a summer boy. I'm a fair weather boy. Like I like being outside. I like golfing. I like hiking. I like doing stuff outdoors. I like floating the Rio Grande. Like I love doing outdoor stuff. I love working with my hands outside. I love gardening. I love yard work.
Yeah.
I love doing my man bleep. I like doing my man stuff.
Yes.
Working with my hands. And that's always better when the weather's better. So this is the time of year that I round the corner. I transform. Okay.
Yes.
I'm transforming into a different person. Not what you think.
Yes.
Not what you think, Trump. I'm not that kind of trans. Okay. This kind of transformation should be encouraged by everyone.
Yes.
Regardless of political affiliation. But I'm rounding the corner and I feel it happening. Once I see that temperature next week hitting 70, I'm a new person.
Yes. How'd you feel? Because it hit that maybe like high 60s for a few days. And I thought that we officially had made that turn. And then this past week and a half hit. And then right before that little heat wave, if you want to call it that, it was super cold again. So it's gone super cold, then warm. Now it's been cold again. Hopefully this is the warm stretch. I like summer too, and winter's hard on me as well. And winter usually was twice as bad for me growing up because as the season switched to being cold, I then stopped caring. If I was upset or like had the seasonal depression, I didn't care about school. Like I
Sure.
didn't care about school at all. So then the grades drop.
Mm-hmm.
So then I get grounded because my
I hear
grades
you.
are bad.
Yep.
So then, spring rolls around the corner and I try to get them better by spring, but summer break is summer break. So that's when I didn't have to worry about school. And I don't think I ever was just doing exceptional in school during the winter time. So like these past couple of years, like having winter without being in college or any sort of school, I've been able to actually, enjoy the benefits of what winter can bring and not stressing about school. So it's been a nice positive.
It is. Yeah. Like getting away from like old behaviors, like old patterns, like that helps too. And it took me, I'm not a dumb guy.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't refer to myself as a smart guy because of, a litany of history and data proving otherwise.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not dumb. But it did take me way too long to figure out that I get a little bummed out when the weather's bad, when the sun's not out and it gets a little cold.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it took me way too long to figure out that, hey, now hold on, this happens every year.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's a few things you could do to counter the way you feel every winter, your little seasonal affective disorder. And also like, my life is fine. I'm fine.
Like disclaimer.
Everything is fine. These are first world problems. These are champagne problems.
Yes.
All the stuff going on in the world. I don't want to, listener, a friend of the show, I don't want you to feel like, oh, okay, you got it so bad, Van. You got nice friends and family and a good job and a house and a girlfriend and people who love you. Like, yeah, no, it's these are first world problems. These are champagne problems. I'm not ideal in the winter. I'm a little bummed out all the time. I'm very well aware that it's a little bit of seasonal defective disorder, but there's some things that can curtail that. When there is sunshine out, get a little sun on your face.
Yes.
Now, vitamin D is very important.
Yeah. So people don't realize that. Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah. Exercise, sweat. Let your body know. Mental health and physical health are directly related.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Ricky Anaya from the YMCA, he'll tell you all about it next week when he's back on the program. Mental health and physical health, they're linked together.
Directly.
You'll feel a lot better upstairs when you're taking care of the downstairs.
Oh, yeah. You get into the gym and just the feeling afterwards. And again, the hardest part of going to the gym is going there. But like, I don't know if maybe it's because I still have a little bit of that like competitiveness in me from usually when I would lift, I was in a locker room. So like, not a locker room, but I was with a football team. So you got everybody there lifting competitively, trying to outdo the other one. Once you get into the gym, if you have any ounce of competitiveness in you, you see somebody else trying hard or going hard and you figure, I'm sure everyone in here has got something going on.
Sure.
We've all got something going on, but you come in there to get better, just improve yourself. And like you're saying, like you can have, from a grand scale, like, oh, he's got this and this and this going for him. But if someone's not their peak self, then it doesn't really matter, once you start comparing yourself to others. It's like, okay, but how do they feel? And put that first. Part of getting older, I've realized, is finding like a plan, like have like a routine.
Yeah.
I've started to let myself soak. I almost fell back into my video game curse like a couple weeks ago.
You just became a little controller zombie for a little bit there?
Yeah, it was starting to sneak up on me because I have a buddy that plays at Washington. So we would play,
Sure. No, I get it. Yeah.
We play in college football and they have like a mode you can play with each other. And I'm like, okay, this is almost like hanging out with your buddy. I was about to fall back into it. Then I started feeling anxious when I woke up afterwards. Like, this is that feeling. I'm glad it's here, but it's time to stop the video game and, be productive.
I'm trying to slow down. Speaking of other good mental health choices, by the way, friend of the show, we'll be talking sports all day. We got a great show for you today. Kobe's going to get a new statue and it's not where you think it is. We do some NFL talk, prize pick talk, Four Nations hockey, talking rugby, talking Yankees. And in the last hour, it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be talking golf in the last hour as Fill in the Holes Jay Choi joins us in the 6 o'clock hour. 5 o'clock hour, the Albuquerque Aardvarks, Mr. Everything, meme master Joel Uevano does a little rugby and sports roundtable with us. Gonna have a lot of fun on the program today. But another thing I've been trying to do, Zay, is quit the late night doom scrolling on the phone.
Okay.
Reddit and Instagram and like hopping around websites, reading a bunch of articles and news stuff that does nothing but depress me. And one thing I was doing, I'm picking up and trying to be consistent on reading a few pages every night. And another thing I did is I got a old school video game system.
Okay.
It's the two Bluetooth controllers and then one little game stick. The thing's like 4 inches long, plugs into the USB, and I got like 20,000 retro video games.
Wow.
So I've been trying to do like, old school puzzle games, like
the stuff that brings you back, like nostalgia.
Something that I could have fun and like enjoy and play video games, but also like work my brain a little bit, like some Dr. Mario stuff or Burger Time or Lemmings. Like this stuff might mean nothing to you, but these are like 8-bit video games that are like kind of challenge you a little bit, like some puzzling stuff. So like anything I could do to like get away from staring at the Black Mirror every night and just turning into a phone zombie, I've been trying to do.
Yeah, that's one thing. And I will say, I think that's why I got caught in the video game trap in the first place, is because you get to a point where, it's almost like when you're growing up and you're like, Dad or Mom, I'm bored. And they're like, oh, there's something productive you can do. Like there's no way you should be bored. There's something you can do.
There's always something.
So you get into that mindset. But then there is a part of the day where it's like, even though there is something you could be doing for your own, mental health, since it's kind of what we're talking about, find something to give you that relief. And I do find a lot of times I'm like, all right, this video game is a way for me to kind of occupy myself. I'm not, I'm not going to go out and do anything stupid. Not that I have that tendency, but it's like, this is something to pass time until I get tired. So it's like, why not hop on? And then here come the in-game add-ons, which your 8-bit, I'm sure, doesn't have.
Nope, that didn't exist. Like, no.
Pay $2.99 for this special character with a green hat instead of a blue one. Like, just something like that. And then that's when I had to start hopping off. I'm like, oh, they got me spending money. This is not why I hopped on here.
No. Yeah, any game add-on, like, instead of spending that money, think like how much time it costs. Like, if I'm going to spend that $12 for the new armor or whatever it is, how much time in the game does it cost to make those points versus buying it? And do like a little cost benefit analysis. Because if I have to pay money to play a video game that I already paid for, I'm throwing that thing out the window. Like how the audacity to make me pay more for something that I already paid for.
Yeah. So
if it's like a free online game, and then you want me to pay a little bit throughout it, I get it. That makes sense. If I'm paying $80 or however much video games cost now, I'm paying $75 for a video game, and you want me to pay another $12.99 per month to get an armor package or whatever it is.
Yeah.
A $5 loot box, whatever it is. No, this is gambling. Like, you're just adding gambling into a video game.
Well, yeah, you know how like you can buy, say you're into collecting like cards. You can go buy like a card pack, and you're hoping that you get like a banger of a card in there, so you can resell it and make a ton of value off of it. In the new college football game, they kind of have that for a certain game mode. It's called Ultimate Team, where you can like build your team, and as the year goes on, they slowly release new players that have names. Some are playing right now, like you might recognize some of the guys if you are in college football. And then there's also legends. And you guys' boy Ryan Leaf popped up on there.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of, I turned my game on. I see a 97 overall Ryan Leaf drop.
He was a dude, man.
And if you were to translate that into actual money, it's like maybe near $100.
What?
Yeah. It's for,
And you could transfer his game card to somebody else?
You can't transfer the card. See, that's the thing. So you can like buy packs and hope to get an expensive card. You can either hope to get him or get a card that you can resell and eventually get him. But you can't just directly pay money for coins. They'll ban you for that. So you got to buy packs, spend money, hope to pull him. But they put guys with like popular names on there to make you want to buy the pack. Yeah. When I saw Ryan Leaf's name pop up this deep into the game season, I was like, whoa, he was just on the show last week.
Yeah.
And they got this guy going for a 97 overall. Like, that means he's gonna be a pull. But they do things like that. Like if say your Fred was into the game and you turn it on, you see Ryan Leafs on there, you'd be like, all right, I might buy a $10 pack. I'm not going to buy the $100 guaranteed pack, but I'm going to just try to get him. Like I know the guy. It's
so crazy.
Like, let me just see if I can. And they reel you in like that. Or they'll drop a Marcus Mariota and someone like me, I'm like, oh gosh, I did not plan on spending money. But now Marcus is in the game, so now I'm going to drop a little 10 ball, see if I can get something.
Or you do legacy mode, and you get the high school senior from modern day, and you build up his stats to be better than Ryan Leaf.
Yeah,
and you change his name to Brian Fleef or whatever, and then you got your own Ryan Leaf for free. How about that?
That's a smart approach.
But again, it takes more time and effort. And
yeah.
Hell of a program for you today, friends of the show. Joel Luevano joins us in the 5 o'clock hour, a little sports roundtable, special episode of Filling the Holes in the 6 o'clock hour as Jay Choi sits in with me and talks golf. You got me and Zay all day, and the sports talk starts when we get back. Zay's hero got a statue.
Yes.
And we're going to tell you all about it after we pay some bills. You're listening to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal.
Brought to you by Route 66.
Welcome back to the program, Duke City. Welcome back to Two Men On. Welcome back to 95.9 FM AM 610, The Sports Animal. Before today's day, have you even heard about the National Garden of American Heroes?
No, not to my memory.
Was this not on your radar before?
It was not.
There's a pretty good reason for that. Because it doesn't exist yet.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not a real sculpture garden yet. So one of President Trump's last executive orders in his first term was to enact a National Garden of American Heroes, where they build hundreds of statues of American heroes. And you could walk around, go for a tour, et cetera, et cetera. And he added some people to the list yesterday. And one of them is a Kobe Bryant. Yeah, Jelly Beans boy.
The man himself.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant. Mamba himself added to the list of the National Garden of American Heroes, which I will repeat, does not exist yet. Joe Biden, in his last term, revoked the executive orders, calling it wasteful spending. And then one of Trump's first executive orders being back on the clock was to start the process all over again. So it's going to cost a couple $100 million to make this National Guardian of American Heroes. And some of the statues are a little iffy.
So there's already some that are created.
No, there's just a list of people that they want to make. Some of them, like for sure, John Adams on the original. So the original list was 31 names on the original list.
Okay,
and it's been expanded to 244, and it keeps growing. Kobe Bryant, the most recent named on the list. John Adams. I'm going to rattle off some of the people on the original list, which some of them make total sense. John Adams, okay, check. Susan B. Anthony, sure. Clara Barton, great idea.
Whenever I hear B. Anthony, wasn't there like a psychotic lady that had a very, very close name to that? It was like Casey
Anthony who murdered her children. Okay, say two wildly different people, two wildly different representations of what an American woman stands for, Isaiah. So okay. Susan B. Anthony, very different. Women's suffrage. Okay. What she stood for. Yeah. Women's rights. Huge advocate. One of the biggest this country's history. Daniel Boone. You familiar with Daniel Boone's work?
No.
Okay. He was an American pioneer and frontiersman. He's like a folk hero.
Okay.
His exploits were a little more whitewashed.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a weird one.
I hated social studies.
Okay.
There was never a year where I could get it.
Davy Crockett, another one on the same list as Daniel Boone.
Okay.
Frederick Douglass, good get. Yeah, well done. Amelia Earhart, that's a good one. Ben Franklin, gotcha. Good one. American history. The Reverend Billy Graham is on the list. Okay.
Based off the way you said it.
That's one. Yeah, you could Google that all you want. Thomas Jefferson. Okay. Yeah. It was a different time. I understand. The Wright brothers. That's a good one.
Okay.
George Washington, first president. Sure. Should be on the list. Booker T. Washington, great historical figure. Harriet Tubman. Sure. Give me all that you got. Harriet Beecher Stowe, great historical figure. Anthony Scalia. So, Supreme Court Justice Anthony Scalia, for whatever reason. Betsy Ross, great get. First athlete on the list, Jackie Robinson.
Okay.
Fantastic. We'll throw president in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan, on there. He was one of the original 31. Here's the first one that I do not know who it is, and I feel bad. Audie Murphy.
Audie Murphy.
I don't know this one.
A-U-D-I?
Yeah, A-U-D-I-E. Audie Murphy. I'm sorry I do not know this one, friend of the show. Yeah. This is on the original list, of the National Garden of American Heroes. American soldier, actor, and songwriter, wildly celebrated as most decorated American combat soldier of World War II.
All right.
Okay,
all right.
there we go. That's a good one.
Okay, I guess
Sorry, I didn't know your game, Audie. My bad.
Wasn't familiar.
James and Dolly Madison, good get. Douglas MacArthur, good get. Abe Lincoln, that's a good one.
Throw him on there.
MLK, all right.
Throw him on there.
Pretty good start.
I see a name that's really, really alarming. I bet you'll get to him.
Okay. On the original list?
Yes.
Because I rattled off all the OGs on the list. And then there's 211 more.
Okay.
So,
yeah. No,
yeah. We ain't got time to do all of them.
That's a lot of statues.
But Kobe Bryant is added to the list. Mm-hmm. And I think if we're doing athletes, we're doing the spirit of Americans. If we're talking about determination and hard work and, the everything that encompassed the Mamba mentality, he should be one of 244 American historical figures, right?
Yeah, 100%. He did his time in the Olympics as well. Won the gold medal twice. I know he does. He has a blemish on his record, right? He's got the blemish for the Colorado situation.
Yeah, that's one.
And that would be the one, and not that's a small reason, but that would be the biggest reason why I think anybody could have an issue with this. Because that's something, of course, like it's there. And if that would have happened in something like 2016, it'd be even a bigger deal. But luckily for him, that was far before social media was as powerful as it is right now. But they still don't let that go, of course. If it's still bad now, so I know it would have been terrible if it was as powerful now as it, as it is. If it's as powerful then as it is now.
Actually, the Colorado stuff, Isaiah, is why Trump chose him. This has nothing to do with basketball at all. Nothing to do with the Mamba mentality. He's like, he did what? He did what?
Throw him on there.
Oh, that's my guy.
Yeah, that's my type. That's my
hey, two peas in a pod. You know what I'm saying? We're bros.
But
so,
yeah.
If we're trying this country, Donald Trump, President Elon Musk, and the rest of the Doge clan, if we're trying to trim the fat off the budget, are we going to spend $200 or $300 million on making a new statue garden in this country?
Yeah, probably not. It's a lot of statues. I thought it was going to be like a sport specific thing,
right?
But no, that's a lot of statues. Although it would look really, really, really cool. I hope that they would do a good job on these statues, because statues as of recent have been terrible. I don't know how.
Don't get the guy who did Ronaldo. Don't get the guy who did D Wade.
You look at things like the stuff in Rome and those type of statues.
Incredible.
And you really wonder, like, how can you guys nowadays, with all the technology, hell, you can even computerize a thing. Use a machine to make it look exactly how it's supposed to. There's got to be something, but that little field has been traveling backwards, it seems.
Athletes on the list include Lou Gehrig, Muhammad Ali, the aforementioned Jackie Robinson, Coach Vince Lombardi. Oh, what other athletes? Cy Young is on here. Babe Ruth is on here. Jim Thorpe.
Any people that are alive? I feel like it's going to be a stupid question. I just can't think of all the names.
I don't think so. I don't see anybody on the list who is still with us. I could be wrong.
Like Michael Jordan would have been on there if that was the case.
Yeah. Sure, he'll have his time on here eventually. Yeah. So, there you have it. If Doge allows this to happen, then it's going to be a kind of cool thing. I mean, it's going to take a long time to crank out 244 and counting life-size statues and put them in a garden
and keep it consistent.
I think it's a cool idea, but if we're trying to trim money, like all the people we fired from the Forest Service and National Forest firefighters and all the other fat that Doge has trimmed off the budget, is that where this is going? Instead of our promised $5,000 checks from saving $1 billion, we're just gonna build a statue garden.
I was gonna say, if this is at the cost of that $5,000 check, then I love you, Kobe, but you've already got your statues outside Crypto Arena. Yeah, I'll take that $5,000 wholeheartedly. And no, it's not a lot. It'll go away quick. I don't know if I'd either blow it or if I would just make it so I didn't have to pay rent for about 5 months.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It would be there's no in between. I'm either rent free for 5 months or that money's going to be gone in 2 days.
A statue garden. Yeah. Zay's quality of life or a statue garden. Yeah. Actually, I changed my mind. We're not doing Kobe anymore.
Yeah.
Kobe's a DEI hire. Larry Bird. We're honoring the Bird man.
Once he passes.
The second he dies, he's getting his old wing.
We're not rushing you, Larry.
Right next to Steve Nash. Jason Williams, white chocolate. He's my favorite.
All those people.
When we get back, we're talking NFL, little NFL quick hitters and round table. Van Nunley, Zay Johnson, 2 men on. You listen to 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal.
This report.
time to rock. It's time to
Welcome
rock.
back, Duke
It's
City.
time to rock. We
Welcome
go
back to the
hard
program.
on the block. It's time to rock.
Welcome back to
It's
Two Men
time
On.
to rock. It's
Welcome
time
back to
rock.
95.9 FM and AM 610, the
Yo,
Sports
the party
Animal.
didn't start till my crew walked in, and it probably won't.
Happy Friday. You made it through another week, friend of the show. Congratulations.
Yeah.
If you're a get off at 4 o'clock guy, you're driving home, you did it again. Hope you have a great weekend planned. If you have a great weekend planned, a lot of cool stuff going on in Albuquerque, including Duke City Championship Wrestling
Really?
tomorrow night at the historic El Rey Theater in downtown Albuquerque, New Mexico. I will be there. So should you. Gonna have a blast. Gonna watch my hero, Hobo Hank, defend his title. Always a blast. A lot of cool, fun sports going on around the community. Check your calendar. You know what's going on. I ain't got to tell you what's going on. Isaiah Johnson joining Van Nunley on the program.
Mm-hmm.
Fred's got some day job stuff. He'll be back with us on Monday. About half of you are rejoicing, and the other half is just slightly happy. Like, not like celebratory, but like, you get it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys needed a day off too. Like,
Yeah, he's definitely a guy where you don't realize like the impact until he's gone. You're like, wow, he takes up a big portion of the vibes.
NFL quick hitters coming your way right now. Unlike the Yankees and teams in Major League Baseball, NFL teams can't police facial hair.
Wow.
I know we'll talk about this more in the 5 o'clock hour with friend of the show, Joel. But the Yankees, for the first time in 49 years, will allow their players to have well-kept beards.
That's wild.
It's crazy. But the NFL says you cannot police people's facial hair. And it's been a policy that's been negotiated in collective bargaining agreements every single time there's a new collective bargaining agreement for the Players Association and the owners. Could you imagine, Zay, like being like a little Harvard graduate, law school, lawyer, front office dork walking up to a 350-pound offensive lineman,
Telling him to
and
cut his beard.
telling him you got to shave your beard by tomorrow? Are you kidding me? He will throw you through a window, you dork.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I would expect the NBA, like if there's a scale of sports from the very least likely and most likely to try to implement this rule, I would have the NBA much higher on the list than the NFL because, again, like baseball, unless you're like a catcher, you don't have like a helmet on, like you're exposed, and maybe there's like a certain image you want to keep, which is why I would assume the Yankees are like that because they are a huge brand. So maybe they're like, we want our players looking a certain way.
That's exactly. I mean, it started in the 70s because they didn't want a bunch of hippies on the Yankees. Like, this is the exact reason they didn't want a bunch of long hair, bearded hippies on the Yankees. So they started that policy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is like late 60s, early 70s, like hippie hate stuff. That's where it started.
It's crazy because if you really think like nowadays, if you were to start something like that, I think it would cause like a huge ruckus. Like, people would be really specific. Like, let's say, for example, a baseball team was like, no dreads. You know,
right? Okay.
You know,
all right. Well, there goes the whole Caribbean. Like, you're bad.
So then, it would like cause like a huge ruckus. So I think, it's saying at least allowing them to have beards, I guess. But I figure most of them at this point, if you don't keep yourself clean cut, you're like ruining your own money. I mean, if it really was a problem, I assume you're hurting your own pockets when it comes to sponsors and, things you can do on the side.
Yeah. Well, football players wearing a helmet all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many players on your favorite team, Zay, the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah.
You know their name and number. Like, how many players on a team do you really know, like, exactly what their face looks like?
Yeah. If you're not a star, no,
because you got on a helmet and you got on a bunch of armor. You don't know what these guys look like.
And the only reason people might know slightly is because of the starting lineups at the beginning of the game where they like, Dak Prescott, Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Something like that. Otherwise, you never would.
Friend of the show, if you can pick every single person from your offensive and defensive line out of a lineup, not just any team, your specific team that you like and follow and watch, I will give you $1 bazillion because no one can do it. No one cares about offensive and defensive linemen except for that one moment they get a sack and they do a cool dance.
Yeah.
You do not know what your left guard looks like. You don't.
No.
If you do, you're lying. And if you do know what he looks like, he's probably your cousin or something.
Now, if it's someone that gets the ball, then there's a higher chance. But there's got to be a consistent guy. Like
But commercials and social media, like fantasy sports, like that's how you know people's faces.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was growing up, like football cards were the only reason I knew what people look like.
Yeah.
Because like it had like, it had an action shot on the front, then on the back it had a picture of their actual face.
Yeah, like a face.
Otherwise, I'd never know what these people look like. And then baseball, like you're wearing a hat. When you're batting, you're wearing a batter's helmet. So like basketball, like you said, like that's probably the only one that you could police a little bit. Because you're never wearing anything covering your face. Like,
it's like
it could be bad for the brand if you go out on the court looking like a hobo or whatever.
Or they force Kevin Durant to brush his hair.
Yes,
for the first time in his life. So no, that'd be a good idea. Is there like a Yankees player right now that really wants to grow his out and he pushed for this? Like, what's the reasoning?
What I think what started this, I mean, people have been complaining for years about this policy. Everyone thinks it's archaic and outdated and blah, blah, blah. And I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was cool just because of tradition. Baseball has been around so long. Baseball is so tied to their history, to their traditions. Like, even though it's stupid, like making people shave their face, it's like, oh, you could have a mustache, but you can't have a beard. Yeah. You can have sideburns, but you can't have mutton chops. Yeah. Like it's stupid. It's archaic. But like, just because it's been around so long was the only reason that I was into it, that I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, this is creeping up on 50 years. It's kind of cool that you're keeping this going because you have like the Ring of Honor or whatever, and everyone is clean shaven. Like you look at other people's Ring of Honor, some dude's got a beard, some dude's got long hair. But on the Yankees, it is a short haircut and clean shaven. All of their superstars throughout their whole history, not one had a beard the whole time. Now it could be anything.
Yeah, you think we're going to see Aaron Judge just come out rocking a full-on beard now?
I don't know. Like, it's really exciting to see like what's going to happen. I know a couple people who will. Devin Williams, that they just acquired. He tried to walk into the clubhouse on the first day of spring training with a beard, and like he walked into the building. Somebody said, and then immediately made him shave. So he didn't even make it out onto the field for the first time with a beard. He walked into the facility. They made him shave his beard, and then he walked out to practice. Like, that's how serious they are about it.
Wow.
And I guess that was like the last straw. Like, that was the last domino to fall. Be like, hey, you know what? Maybe this is stupid.
Yeah, maybe we're going a little overboard. Just a little bit. Just a tad bit.
Yeah, like their stud pitcher, like the guy that they invested $300 million in, Garrett Cole, has like long wavy hair and a beard, and he had to get like a close haircut and a shave when he went to the Yankees. Like, there's a lot of things I will do for that amount of money, and one of the easiest things to make me do is change my facial hair.
Yeah,
like,
I wonder if he Devin Williams, I wonder if he didn't, like, I wonder if he knew he's going to have to cut it, but he was like, maybe I can get away with not having to.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was going to get to it, but just hadn't done it yet. And they're like, okay, well, you thought you were
we'll do it.
Yeah, we can do it right now. Yeah, we got a room for you right now.
From Article 49, Section 2 of the NFL Code of Conduct, clubs may make and enforce reasonable rules governing players' appearance on the field and in public places while representing the clubs. However, no player will be disciplined because of hair length or length of facial hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
When they say representing, does that mean like, that probably means under contract, not just like wearing something that's.
Oh yeah, you're at an official Dolphins fundraiser or something. You got to clean it up, like clean it up a little bit. But like, we're not going to tell you what to do. Like when you're
on a date,
risking your life,
yeah,
playing a kids game, like.
Yeah, we'll let you keep the beard. And also, a lot of guys, they tie their testosterone to their beard.
Sure.
That's why a lot of these linemen have the facial hair. Usually you don't see you got some receivers that'll come rocking the huge beards, but it's not too often.
Also, like, somebody missed a really good opportunity to, like, stick it to the man in the past 50 years. Like, not one Yankee, like, rebelled. Or like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, you want me to shave? Release me. You know who's not going to make me do this? 29 other teams.
Yeah, they're going to pay
You're
me.
the only one. They would love to have me on a team. Okay. Nah, not one person stood their neck out.
Yeah.
Their neck beard. They stick their neck beard out.
Sheesh.
That is wild.
At least they got it done now, and I'm surprised they did it without a player doing that. That's why I was wondering if there was a guy on the roster who was maybe like pushing for it. They just did it amongst themselves. Oh, well, kudos to the Yankees.
Yep.
Maybe that's gonna break the curse and put them over the hump.
I think it may.
A little more testosterone in the locker room.
I think it may. We're going to hit this topic a little more in the 5 o'clock hour. When we get back, we're going to tell you where to put your lineups for Prize Picks. You're listening to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
Welcome back to the program, Duke City. Welcome back to Two Men On. Welcome back to 95.9 FM AM 610, the Sports Animal. I'm going to hit you with my prize picks today, but first, just stumbled across some great news.
Mm-hmm.
Legendary hip-hop duo Clips is in the studio making another album.
Really?
Pusha T and Malice, going to be exclusively produced by Pharrell. Super stoked.
Good old Pusha T, huh?
Pusha T's one of the goats, man. Underrated.
He's very underrated.
Very underrated. Grindin' is like an all-time banger. All-time banger.
I have to give it another rerun.
Oh, dude, check out Grindin'. You put it in your heavy rotation.
Okay.
Promo code KNML on Prize Picks. You deposit and make a $5 lineup. It will just give you $50. That is wild. Did you do your Flex Friday today, Zay?
Not yet.
Okay, we'll get that Flex Friday in. Up to $35, and it changes depending on the size of your account. Up to $35 on mine is protected. I got a little $35 banger right now going. So I got a theory.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing goblins, unless it's like a Taco Tuesday or there's like a limited projection. I do goblins, and I do goblins that they've hit either 4 or 5 out of the last 5 games.
It's a good strategy.
Parlay those together, make a little lineup with a bunch of goblins, and I've been having a lot of success. It doesn't pay off at like a huge rate. It's usually 2.5 to 1, 3 to 1, 3.5 to 1, 4 to 1, somewhere around there. But they hit so much more often. I'm willing to have a little less heat for more probability. So I'm going to hit you with mine today.
Okay.
This is a 6-pack of my protected play. I got $35 on this bad boy. But guess what? I can only win. I cannot lose. They will every Friday. You do a flex lineup. They'll give you money right back if you don't hit it. I got Jonas Valanciunas more than 3.5 points. Yes, I said that. A center in the NBA only has to get 2 buckets. DeMontis Sabonis more than 13.5 points. John Collins more than 11.5 points. Naz Reid 13.5 points. Jarrett Allen more than 9.5 points. Desmond Bain more than 3.5 assists. Every single one of these guys has hit that number at least 4 out of the last 5 games.
So you got to be sitting pretty then.
Book it. Also, I got a bunch of other lineups too, but we won't go into those. Take advantage of Flex Friday. Take advantage of the free $50. Promo code KNML. When we get back, we're talking a little Four Nations hockey and what that means to a rugby player. Joel Luevano of the Aardvarks joins us. Going to have a lot of fun in the 5 o'clock hour. Also, friend of the show, if you're walking to the car right now, you got us in your earbuds, turn us on when we get into the car. We will celebrate you when we get back. You're listening to Two Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. and FM AM 610, The Sports Animal. As promised, pictured though, Joel Luevino of the Albuquerque Aardvarks joins us. We're going to talk a little Four Nations hockey and why it's still not as cool as rugby. We're going to talk about grooming habits. We're going to talk about a lot of things on this program in the next hour. But hey, friends of the show, you made it through another week. Congratulations. It's quitting time.
Burley.
Well done, boys.
Burley.
We are proud of you. You get to have a nice, fun weekend. And if you work weekends and you have weird hours, whatever, I'm sorry. I'm not talking to you right now. I am talking to my 9-to-5ers. You made it through another week. I know how crippling and awful your cubicle is. Now you get to run away and have yourself a weekend. And we know everybody's working for the weekend. Friend of the show, congratulations. You made it through another week. Give yourself a round of applause. Bonus friend of the show in the house, Aaron Buck Burnett.
What up?
My dude, OG friend of the show, one of the owner-operators of Duke City Championship Wrestling, going to be at the El Rey Theater tomorrow evening.
Yeah,
Welcome back, Buck.
I got to tell you, one of the things I'm very excited about, there is a young lady. She's not making her wrestling debut, but she's making her DCCW debut. And her name is Chelsea Dodson.
I've heard. This is a good get.
Chelsea Dodson is the wife of MMA fighter, former UFC title challenger, current BKFC flyweight champion John Dodson.
Often back flipper.
She got a hold of me about a month ago and she said, Buck, I want to wrestle.
Dang.
Did you say wrestle or wrestle?
She said wrestle.
Oh,
Okay.
And I
As one
said-
should.
Yeah.
And I just paused and I said,
I'm married.
if you're sure you want to do this, I will sign off on this on one condition. And she said, what's that one condition? I said, your husband is so nice, but you are not. You have to be a bad guy. You're going to be a hero.
Yeah.
And she was like, of course I am. Because that's her personality. And she already has an outfit. She's got her wrestling regalia ready to go.
Where does one get a wrestling outfit on
I
the
have
fly?
no idea. No idea. But she's already got a costume made or whatever we call them, uniforms. I'm
Battle
not sure.
gear.
Yeah.
Yes. Battle gear. Thank
Battle
you.
gear, yeah.
She's got her battle gear ready.
I've heard it's a singlet, not a onesie. I
That
keep saying onesie, and I
No.
keep upsetting wrestlers.
Yeah. Don't say that at a wrestling tournament because you'll probably get a knuckle sandwich.
Oh,
They'll say,
My-
hey, are you hungry?
least favorite
Let
sandwich.
me give you a knuckle sandwich.
Right below tuna.
Yeah.
Tuna
Yeah.
sandwiches are gross.
Enough about me and DCCW. What's up with the Aardvarks?
Oh my gosh. It's funny you asked that because Van.
You guys got everything going on.
Van is a resident aardvark specialist.
Correct.
So, well, man, it's it's just when it rains, it pours in a good way. We just did a photo shoot with Guinness Beer, and we're going to be involved in one of their national campaigns they have.
Are you
going.
really?
Yeah.
So
Nice.
if you
Good for you.
don't know, friend of the show, rugby players, rugby clubs drink
They've
like
been
at
known to-
an impressive level. By the way, we are drinking some Rio Bravo Brewing Mexican lager right now,
Congratulations.
and it is fantastic. Sorry, Zay, you're operating the board. You can't partake.
Uh-huh.
I got one for you when you clock out. Though.
Okay, deal.
Okay.
You ever tried a lager and cider?
Okay,
Oh.
Joel.
A log,
This is a family show.
a lager. If you go,
So this is like a super cool campaign that Guinness is doing.
Yo, what's the
They're
campaign?
picking out super unique groups and clubs all over the country.
yeah, various
and
communities.
Guinness, one of the coolest alcohol companies, said the Albuquerque Aardvarks are the coolest group of dudes in all of New Mexico. That's what I understand.
It was between us and the Albuquerque Astronomy Society.
Okay. I hope you.
the
I hope.
Albuquerque Knitting Club.
I
The
hope
real-
you ran away with that one.
Yeah, I don't know what the final deciding factor was, but I just don't want to run into them on the streets because it might, if I hear some finger snapping, it might be a rumble.
Uh oh. The greasers and socias going on.
It's speaking
The Sharks
of,
and the Jets.
speaking of refreshments, we have a rugby match tomorrow.
Yes, that's why I brought you on.
Oh my gosh! Well, 10 a.m. USS Bullhead Park, right there off Gibson, San Pedro, etc. And it's 10 a.m. to noon. Our friends from the north, Santa Fe Santos, are coming down to play us, and so we're gonna have our social right there, right after the match, right on the pitch. You know, some food and some refreshments. So come on down, check it out if you want to play or you just want to watch. But
So you're taking people off the streets can just hang out and play with you.
Absolutely. Some guy just like
two-hand touch.
Guys.
Are they got to sign a waiver?
Oh, the one that they can't play tomorrow, but they can practice with us.
Practice and hang out and see what the vibe is. Okay, got you.
6 a.m. on Johnson Field. We have our practices.
Is there a prerequisite for like the amount of teeth that you're allowed to have when you join a rugby team? Because you're probably going to lose some, right?
I mean, if mouth guards have come a long way.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Mouth guards have come a long way. But some people like don't brush their teeth and they blame it on rugby. You know what I mean?
Nice.
That's my honest feeling.
That's wild.
There's a level of toughness in rugby that I believe is unmatched in any sport, even hockey, which we will talk about very soon. But you got to have like a different level. You got to have like a different mentality to go out there.
These guys are basically NFL football players without pads.
Yeah.
You guys just don't have the shells. You guys get out there. The stuff that you do is absolutely insane. I equate what you do to professional wrestling. Like I have a limit. If I'm on a plane and the flight attendant comes out and says, "Hey, the pilot just died. Who can do this?" I'm going to be that guy that's going to raise my hand. If you come to me and say, "Hey, what are the positions called?" You just give me one position.
Prop.
Okay. If you come and say, "Hey, our prop guy's out. I need somebody to fill in." I'm not the dude.
You're tucking.
I know my limits. I know my limits.
Well, Zay over here behind
now
the glass,
Zay, that's a different story.
Zay would be an 8-man in rugby. He'd be the guy in the back of the scrum, and he's
pushing the scrum forward,
pushing it, or the 8-man has the option. They can just pick up the ball and go.
If you want to explain rugby in football terms, he would be the rear tush pusher.
Yeah, he would.
Okay.
So he's going to be the fullback pushing the quarterback.
He would be brotherly shoving people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I bet he's brotherly shoved some people before.
Yeah.
I don't have my headphones on, Zay, so I can't hear you.
When you're recruiting people for the Albuquerque Aardvarks, which you are taking on all comers, right?
Oh, yeah.
You try out, you can make it, even if you don't, even if you can't cut it, you could still be part of the squad.
Well,
in spirit.
The good thing with the club, we play in various levels. Like sometimes we play like a D4 team, sometimes we're playing a D1 team. And another news, like I said, we have a lot going on. We're going to Mexico for a tournament in April 16th, April 19th, kind of on a cultural exchange goodwill trip. So
because you have dual citizenship, because you're on the Mexican national team as well.
I am on the 3rd tier, working my way up.
You don't have to say that. You could just say, "Yes, Van, I'm on the Mexican national team."
I represent Mexico in international tournaments. Yes, yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. And so we're going down. Branching out the Aardvark brand. It's going to be the Aardvark team going down to Mexico, and we just came out with a new jersey, and we have a lot of people even in Mexico wanting to buy it. So we really feel this is good for our brand to be international. And, I'm a little competitive, and there's times that our social media outdoes local baseball teams. I won't mention any of them, or local soccer teams. But we're more of an international brand at the moment.
You are.
Yeah.
Your name and your brand transcends rugby. You're fashion icons, meme icons, you're trendsetters on the internet.
Well, and you know what really is a big part of it? The name Albuquerque Aardvarks.
It's so cool.
Some people will be like, "Is that a real name?"
That's like something you'd hear on the. Well, I mean, I'd say you'd hear it on The Simpsons, but I mean that's how the Isotope showed up.
Yeah. Well, and the folklore is the name came up with the old boys back in 1972 got together and said, "All right, we're not drinking until we come up with a team name."
Mm-hmm.
So they opened up the dictionary.
It's AA. Uh-huh.
There it was. And that's how the name was birthed.
That's pretty genius. I Googled, are there aardvarks in Mexico? The answer is no, They're only in sub-Saharan Africa, but there's anteaters, which is a cousin of an aardvark.
Yes.
So you're
Which
going to
we
be the
get
first.
mistaken
You're going to be
for.
the first aardvarks in Mexico, bro.
Yeah, we're excited.
That's
So,
awesome.
And there's a big fair going on in Mexico at that time. Like 8 million people go to this fair.
Mhm.
So this tournament's going to be the first weekend of it, and the tournament this fair is like everything you can imagine about Mexican culture, and it's called Aguas Calientes, and that's where actually the Day of the Dead, La Catrina art was created. Aguas Calientes.
Yeah.
And so we have special jerseys to commemorate that with the skeletons and whatnot. So it's going to be a great event. It's great for rugby. We think it's great for Albuquerque with the cultural exchange we're going to be doing. So check us out on Instagram and all that stuff.
It's a beautiful part of the country too, and it's a different culture than I think what people expect Mexican culture to be. It's more historic. It's more European. It's more artsy. Because I lived in Zacatecas for a while. And
Is
that's
that by
right.
the Gulf of America?
That's yes, it is. It's Zacatecas is in the highland, right in the middle of the continent. But
yeah, it's 1.1 million people. Actually, it reminds me a lot of I don't know how this is a weird way to explain it. It reminds me of a Mexican Santa Fe.
yeah,
But older but like you said,
And not a snooty.
there's a snooty part.
there's a snooty
okay.
part for
Yeah,
sure.
there's snooty parts.
It's a completely different vibe.
Yeah.
Like it's not your cliched Cinco de Mayo, 16 de Septiembre kind of Mexico. It's like a whole nother world there.
But there is a rooster fighting arena with a casino right next to
Naturally. Yeah.
Of
They
course
they haven't forgotten how to party. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's all in a line. They have the cockfighting ring next to the soccer stadium, next to the bullfighting.
Correct. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Joel Luevano of the Albuquerque Aardvarks, Aaron Buck Burnett of this very cluster of networks. You'll be taking over for Strauss on KKOB after this. Is that
We'll
correct?
be working for Strauss. Yeah, we are going to have Stephanie Lord is going to be our first guest, and she is a legislator up in Santa Fe.
That's exciting.
And so we're going to talk about all the nonsense that's happening up in Santa Fe. It blows my mind that people waste their time, and we have such a limited amount of time up there to try and pass bills on like making the lowrider the official car of New Mexico or having red and green day. It's like, how about we work on crime?
We do that already.
How about we
Heck yeah.
work on the homeless situation?
I think it's called bread and circus, right?
Mhm.
We need more circus, right? We need more rugby, more wrestling.
Yes. Yes, brother.
Hopefully they're
Preach.
nicer to you over there than they were me. Jeez. I tried to talk sports over there as instructed. They did not want to hear sports. I said, okay, we could talk homeless people then.
Let's get rid of that one first. That's a good problem to get rid of.
No.
I'd prefer that. And
Again, I don't-
then we'll
don't have my
we'll
headphones, so I can't hear.
and
No.
then we'll get some funds over to the Albuquerque Aardvarks. A little Four Nations hockey talk when we get back. Joel Luevano joins. Aaron Buck Burnett joins. Of course, Van Nunley and Zay Johnson will be here with you all program. More sports and sports adjacent talk when we get back. You listen to Two Men On 95.9 FM AM 610, the sports animal.
This report.
Welcome back to the program, Duke City. Welcome back to Two Men On. Welcome back to 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. Albuquerque Aardvark's Joel Luevano joins us. Also, Aaron Buck Burnett from the cluster.
Who's who?
You know him from everything.
I don't know about everything.
You wear so many hats, dude.
I wear a couple hats.
Yeah. You work in radio, you work in real estate, you work in the bar industry, you work in wrestling, you work in, what am I forgetting?
Weed and coffee.
Weed and coffee. That's the best one.
Yep.
I was there Wednesday.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry I missed you.
Got a cup of your
Joe?
delicious Joe.
Dude.
Yep.
This
and
is
and a stoop waffle.
the Stroop
Dude,
waffles are so good.
I am a fool for Stroop waffles, dude.
Those things are so good.
What is that?
A Stroop waffle is a very thin waffle, and they take a layer of caramel,
Yeah.
put it in there, and then take another very thin waffle and make like this little sandwich. And what you do is you take your cup of coffee while it's hot, and you open the Stroop waffle and you put it on top of that cup of coffee, and it gets it all nice and warm and moist.
Oh my gosh.
And then you just enjoy it.
Intimate.
And then our coffee is, I mean, you were actually fortunate to come in this week because we were serving this week our Costa Rican coffee,
Fantastic.
which is it's the most expensive coffee that we buy. If we were to sell that by the pound, it would be like $35 a pound.
Holy moly.
And we sell a cup of that for $2.25.
Yeah. Fantastic coffee. Obviously, fantastic products.
Great products.
Yeah. The products are lovely. I'm a fan of the products. I'm not going to go any further than that.
Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about me? I'm sitting here looking at myself in this picture over there with a full, big Grizzly Adams beard. How do you feel this look?
Well, you get to,
Does the face look funky?
You could finally play for the Yankees. So
finally play for the Yankees. That's right.
Congratulations,
Yes.
Buck.
They finally dropped the beard ban.
You waited them out.
I waited them
Good
out.
job, man.
I'm getting Silver Fox vibes.
Silver Fox vibes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Silver
Like-
Fox.
You got a lot of good looks because you're a handsome dude, Buck. But the bearded Buck is my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, I like bearded Buck.
My daughter saw me after I shaved my beard and she said, "Get away from me. You're not my daddy."
Mhm.
You're not safe.
Bearded buck with a cigar and a tuxedo on.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did that when my kiddo was younger too. I was probably in my late 20s. And again, like I have like a Joe Dirt thin, like white trashy beard.
Yeah.
Like it's missing a couple spots here and there,
I could see that. Yeah.
but still it's a beard.
yes.
And I did shave it when my daughter was little, made her cry.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, beard and mustache it is forever, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, I think we've all been through that with our parents or our dads saving his mustache. My dad in the 80s, 90s had a big old mustache, and when he shaved it, it was the creepiest thing.
Yeah. You're like, we want Wilford Brimley back,
I'm
please.
like, Dad, you're Mexican. Like you're supposed to have a mustache. Like,
Joel, for the friends of the show who are just getting in their cars, just getting off work, tell them about Bullhead Park tomorrow and what to expect.
10 a.m. You can go to Bullhead Park and see the craziest thing that you'll see all day,
Okay.
which is 15 dudes from Albuquerque and 15 dudes from Santa Fe and a rugby ball just beating the holy crap out of each other.
It's a blast.
Yeah, it's great. And afterwards, we shake hands with the guys. We have a drink. We have a beer. It's all good, right? So ask yourself, what are you doing tomorrow? And if it's not watching 30 dudes fight over a rugby ball, it's just not going to be worth it, to wake up tomorrow.
So for the friends of the show who aren't familiar with rugby, because like rugby's on the rise, it's taken hold all over the world. But in the United States, rugby's on the rise, especially here in the Southwest. Arizona's falling in love with rugby. I know New Mexico is already falling in love with rugby. What's your elevator pitch to the friend of the show who isn't into rugby yet?
Well, anyone that has watched Dancing with the Stars.
Yep. Okay.
I took a
Guilty.
pivot here, right? We may have seen Alona Mar. And Alona Mar is got 8 million followers on her social media.
Superstar.
And growing. Yeah. And she was and she won a bronze medal for USA. Now she's playing over in Europe and they're selling out. She has a Caitlin Clark effect in the UK right now.
Yeah.
With 5,000-10,000 people showing up to her matches. And so it's so that's part of it. So that's proving that rugby is growing. And, I just think football's getting soft here in the United States.
Boom.
It is getting a little soft.
It's getting well, you know what? It is soft. I'm just gonna say it.
I mean, compared to rugby, it is.
If anyone can say it, it's you, Joel.
Yeah, it's soft.
How do you feel about that, Zay?
There's certain situation this became soft. Yes.
Okay,
But
which situations is rugby soft?
no, I'm not saying
No,
that
he's not
there
gonna
is.
yeah.
You're talking about-
No.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
For NFL, like the line of scrimmage, they haven't really like changed any rules to make it less violent for them. But like for receivers and stuff, yeah. I mean, and, like the quarterbacks, yeah.
Everyone
it became
except for the
soft.
trenches.
Yeah, the trenches.
Everybody
You can't
except
chop block.
yeah, no chop. Can you chop block in rugby? You guys do that?
whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Just like no, it's just seriously eyes, throat, genitals. Like that's it.
And rugby,
You
play
could do
against
literally
the
anything else.
Can you fish hook?
in rugby, there's only like one referee.
Really?
Can't see everything.
Exactly. So no, there's some side judges, but there's 30.
How dirty does it get in the game?
It's not as dirty.
like I think here's my extended knowledge of rugby. I know who the All Black is.
Mhm.
I watched the documentary, and I know what a scrum is. And it seems like all the dirty, dark
arts is what we call it.
the dark arts happen during the scrum. Like,
Exactly. The front three, because you can basically we'll just say this. I play hooker, which is the front center of the scrum. And if it's the kinetics work just right, I'm kissing my belly button.
oh
You know?
wow.
Yeah, like literally, because you have your guys, you have 8 guys pushing on one end, the other 8 pushing, and if you're not set just right, like you're going, and so but you can kind of position the guy to where you control his body, or you could just say like, you know what, I don't like this scrum, I'm just gonna collapse the whole thing and everyone's face goes in the ground. Now that's the forwards. Then we have 7 divas. They're called the backs that are just waiting for the ball. So rugby,
They're the glory seekers.
oh yeah, we have our divas and we have our forwards and backs. So the backs, they're just running and scoring and getting all the girls.
Yeah. You're doing all the work. You're doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Makes sense.
So I want to continue this rugby talk, and I want to segue it into the Four Nations hockey, because you let me know from an off-air conversation that we're bringing on air after the break that was not an original idea, and I can't wait to break it to you, friend of the show, when we get back. You listen to 2 Men On 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. Happy Friday, y'all. Welcome back to the program. 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Van Nunley, Zay Johnson. We're joined by Albuquerque Aardvark's Joel Luevano and your favorite radio personality, Aaron Buck Burnett. So the Four Nations hockey tournament was incredible. Like, it was genius pitting the countries against each other. It was genius picking all the best players from the country. And what really struck me is they cared. It wasn't an all-star game. It wasn't a Pro Bowl.
You know how
they left everything on the ice.
Well, it wasn't an all-star game when in the first game you had 3 fights in the first 90 seconds of the match.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, if you know hockey players, you know how it's going to play out. Like, I've worked for hockey teams before in the past, and they talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like, they go out and they go on the line and they're about to face off and they're like, you want to go? Okay, we can go. Drop the puck. Gloves come off. They're going at it.
So I think hockey and rugby are kind of sister sports, because you absolutely have this deep-seated hatred for your opponent while the clock is going. And then after, you dap it up, give a hug, and then you go drink together.
Absolutely.
Like, I think those two sports are the biggest comp, like how violent it is, how difficult the sport is. But once it's over, like, you go drinking together.
Could you imagine Michigan football and Ohio State football after a game going and having a drink together?
I literally can't. No, I cannot.
It wouldn't happen.
No, I cannot.
No.
So, like, back to the Four Nations, like, it gave such great momentum to hockey, especially after how garbage the All-Star game was in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, as awful as the NBA basketball game was, the Four Nations tournament was absolutely incredible.
My main theory that I've been preaching, and I preached it this morning as well, is that, like, in America, we love violence. Like, it doesn't have to just be like straight up violence.
We're built upon it, my friend.
Exactly. So that's why American football is never going to fail.
Born into it, molded by it.
I think one of the coolest things about this is the fact that Justin Trudeau started trying to troll Donald Trump.
It's so funny.
After this.
It's so funny.
He posted on X, he says, "You can't take our country and you can't take our game."
Yeah, like,
newsflash for you, Justin Trudeau. It's not your country anymore.
like in the NBA, I guarantee if you look at the ratings before Malice in the Palace and then after, I guarantee they spiked after that happened. Not saying that NBA players need to go fight, but like, I bet if there is even just more trash talk before the games or like before the All-Star game, say a guy from the West was like, well, everyone knows the East is weak. Well, like, everyone knows that it's easy to get to the finals in the East because they don't have any good players. Like, even something small like that would spike the ratings a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard you say that on this program before, that they don't really lean into the beef because, like I said, in between, hockey and rugby, they absolutely hate each other while the clock's running.
Yeah, and
then after they're friends. But in the NBA, they're friends on the court.
Exactly.
Like, there's no love lost. Like, they're just dear friends during the game too, like talking about what they're having for dinner later. Like, nah, man, we need some more MJ and Isaiah.
Yeah,
we need some more Kobe versus everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe used to learn languages to talk crap to people from
awesome.
around the world.
That's a boss move right there.
I call that AAU culture.
Sure.
It's AAU culture, and that's kind of, we're seeing in pro right now is just an extension of AAU. It's, whereas it kind of should be the opposite, right? But it's kind of a down up right now.
And I don't know why you wouldn't want it to be that way. I mean, if you're a true competitor, it's more fun that way. Just like we used to do it at PE sometimes. Like, if the game was a little too easy, it's like, all right, I'm going to talk some trash to make it fun. Sure. Like, if we know we're playing kickball in PE and it's first hour, like, I'm starting to talk trash from the beginning of the school day just to make the game more fun.
Well,
I mean,
it's very important to I am a trash talker on the field.
You should be.
And you have to talk trash when you're losing too.
Yes.
You just can't talk trash when you're winning. You got to own it.
You have to be an equal opportunity crap talker.
You got to own it from beginning to end.
Yeah. That's good. At least you're consistent.
Well, you have
good
to.
for you.
Yeah.
It, like, with all the success of the Four Nations, and I hope hockey gets a bump for this. Like, I'm not a hockey mark Like, it's not my favorite sport. I get why people love it, but I hope it climbs up the ranks in popularity. But Joel, you're telling me like this Four Nation thing, it's not a new idea. This has been happening in rugby forever.
Oh yeah, dude, they have the big world tournament every year.
So
Yeah.
right now, actually, at the same time, rugby has Six Nations.
Yeah.
Which is two more. That makes it two better.
And it's sponsored by Guinness, by the way.
Your friends,
yeah,
our little fly flex.
our friends. And I did a little research. It started in 1890. It was called Home Nations at first, and it was all the UK, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England. Forgetting someone, I'm sure. And then they added France and then Italy, and it became Six Nations. So it's been going on for like 100 years. So so and it's no coincidence they're doing the same time as the Rugby Six Nations going on right now. So it's been going on with rugby for about 130 years.
just 130.
There's a very cool documentary you can actually watch about the Six Nations on Netflix, and that's how I actually learned about the Six Nations. Was this documentary that was on Netflix?
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs had that guy from Wales.
Yeah,
but the thing about rugby players, when they transition to football, they just don't understand. You got to drop the pads,
right?
Rugby players like to run high and so on and so forth. But I don't know why. It's just a UK thing or a Europe thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Chiefs, are you okay? Is enough time elapsed? It's your
fine,
beloved
man.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Here's the thing:
botched the three-peat.
You can't fly that high without getting knocked down. And here's the thing: Patrick Mahomes isn't going. He's only 28 years old.
Sure,
he's got a good solid 8 years ahead of him.
Yeah,
at least. How
high can peacocks fly?
Well, yeah. See, and that's the thing. I mean, everybody was getting what I called it was Chiefs fatigue.
100%.
Yeah, that's what we were getting. It's like when the Patriots were just slaughtering everybody, and it's like you just knew it was going to happen.
Right.
That's what started happening with the Chiefs, and it's okay.
It wasn't Chiefs fatigue. It was referee fatigue.
No.
See,
if you look at their totals, they've won every game by like 7 or 3 points the whole season.
Yeah, but here's the thing: everybody's saying that the refs are giving them favorable calls. I mean, you can watch. I was talking to a guy. He actually played for the Chiefs back in the 80s, and he was a tight end. He actually wore number 87.
Okay,
we were talking to him about his name's Walt Arnold. He's a local guy here. Owns a big commercial real estate company.
Right on.
And we were talking about that, and it's like, Walt, what's the deal? What's your opinion on this? As far as like everybody's saying the refs are on Patrick Mahomes' side, you're seeing all the memes, and he was like, "Here's the deal." He was like, "Everybody cheats." You
could call something every play.
You could call a flag every play.
Well, and I think the argument was that they were only calling it every play in favor of the Chiefs.
That's what everybody was saying. But I mean, I watched the Buffalo Bills game, and there was that one game. I mean, there were 13 and a half minutes left when Josh Allen went for that. He ran the ball, and they said he marked him short. He kind of looked like he looked like he did get it. Now, however, there were 13 and a half minutes left in the game, so it's not like it was anything that decided the game. But then 3 minutes after that, there was a very, very blatant pass interference call against the Bills that didn't get called. So I mean,
we're talking body of work.
No. Okay, so
we're not talking about isolated incidents. We're talking about 14 games.
Let me explain. Let me explain some science to you. I don't know what the technical term for this is.
Okay,
what kind of car do you drive?
I don't want to tell anyone because I have a lot of enemies out there.
Okay, what kind of car do you drive?
I got a Ford Maverick hybrid truck.
You have a Ford Maverick hybrid truck. Answer me this: when you're driving around, do you notice more Ford Maverick trucks?
100%. Yeah.
It's this phenomenon, this thing.
Synchronicity.
It's synchronicity.
Yeah.
And people are going to want to see these things over and over again. They're going to see this because this is something that they're high on.
Hey, I didn't watch all the games. I saw the box score. I saw the box score. What is like 3 points, 7 points, 2 points, 1 point.
Yeah. So this is a long way of me saying the Chiefs aren't going anywhere. They're just going to get better next year. That's all.
Yeah, because they're going to draft a tight end.
They're
And-
probably good. Well, you know what? I don't think they will draft a tight end. I think with Noah Gray, I think he's been in Kelsey's shadow long enough where he has developed, and he is going to be a solid tight end on his own. He's not going to be a Travis Kelsey, but he's going to be above average tight end in the NFL.
Better than Aaron Hernandez.
At what?
Don't speak ill of the dead. God rest his soul.
They got their third tight end is good too. I can't remember his
It's
name.
Noah Gray. Who's the other guy? Zay. I should know this. I'm a Chiefs fan.
Wiley.
That's-
Wiley. Wiley
that's
can
not Wiley.
He can go too.
There's another one.
Well, Jake Ferguson.
But yeah, they got so much talent. Do you expect? And we got to hit the break here pretty quick.
Mhm.
Do you expect them to release Travis Kelsey to save money?
No, he's going to
They're
retire.
going to lowball.
He's going to
They're
retire.
going to lowball.
He's gonna- He's going to retire. He's done. Dude, look at what he's doing. He's got a TV show now.
Yeah.
It's like
He's
isn't
going to
this-
go to the Rams.
He's not going to go to the
I
Rams.
promise you, he's going to the Rams.
The Hollywood.
He's going to the Rams to sell some jerseys because he's just too valuable for the total brand. Like they're not going to let him just walk away.
He's going to go.
You know,
He's going to retire.
He's going to the Rams or
I
Vegas.
think he's going to hang on. I think he's going to take a pay cut,
You think?
hang on
No,
for
no,
a
no.
diminished role because he could hang on for a couple years
No,
like, he'll
he's
be-
gonna
he'll be-
retire.
in like a half snap kind of scenario where he's not out there every snap. He will be more effective because he's getting up there. He's old. He's been in the NFL for a long time now. If he takes a diminished role and he's like part player, part coach, part mentor,
He's
part
already in a
example for the
diminished role.
class.
He doesn't block.
Joel has strong feelings for your Chiefs here.
That's
Buck.
okay. Here's the thing, man. Again, it's that thing, it's like
I love Kansas City.
if people aren't talking about you, you're not interesting.
Boom. There it is.
There you have it.
When we get back, more sports and sports adjacent talk. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal. Welcome back, Duke City. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. The Albuquerque Aardvarks, Joel Luevano with us.
What up?
Got Aaron Buck Burnett of basically everything. What's on the agenda tonight on KKOB?
Right out of the gate, we're going to be talking to State Representative Stephanie Lord.
Good get.
And we're going to talk about that, minimum wage that they're trying to pass. We're going to talk about the family leave because she's been working on that. We'll just talk about what's going on up in Santa Fe. And then I've got some other stuff. I actually have we're going to do a story. Companies, you can maybe just let this marinate with you guys for a minute.
Okay.
Companies are going to start giving out new days besides sick days. They're going to be giving out sex days.
Oh, okay.
Did you
I'm
say
in.
nude days?
Well, nude sex days, I guess.
All right.
And because they feel as if you have a healthy sex life, you're going to be more productive.
Okay.
And
Agree.
so they're talking about.
I get really sleepy.
I get me too.
Yeah.
I always just want to take a nap afterwards. We're going to talk about
Is the nap included? So you don't have to go to work at all on your designated sex day.
No. You don't have to do that. Yeah, you just go home and horizontal bop. And
Now hold on. What if you're single? Does that still count? A little self-love, does that also count?
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that would be the thing.
Yeah,
Go home and
You've heard of a threesome, you've heard of a twosome. Do mesomes count?
mesomes.
I thought it was called a handsome.
Oh, a handsome? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to talk about some fun stuff tonight.
Did you guys hear about Carson Beck, the former Georgia quarterback who transferred to Miami? Instead of going into the NFL draft, he transferred to Miami, got a big old bag. I think it's more than $5 million. Immediately bought a Mercedes and a Lamborghini.
Of course he did.
And they immediately got stolen.
Bought or leased?
Great question.
Yeah.
But they were in his name.
If he's got somebody working with him, he better have leased those.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard to pity a guy who just got paid $5 million. It's hard to pity a guy who spent that money on a Lamborghini and a Mercedes. If you told me some college freshman got his 200,000 mile Toyota Camry stolen, I'd be like, oh, that's awful. Let's start a GoFundMe. But Carson Beck getting his Lambo stolen, I'm like, ha!
What's the motive? It's what? I just can't get that hot girl as a quarterback of the Miami University.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the number 1 or number 2 pick in the NFL draft, and I need to go out and buy this.
I mean, what's the motivation? I mean, are you gonna race it or just? I don't know. I'm not really a car guy.
Look cool because he's dating one of the exactly that. What you missed because this is mostly an audio medium. What Buck just did is he put his thumb and index finger incredibly close together, insinuating something.
Can we say the W word on this?
Which W word?
Like Oscar Mayer.
Oh yeah, sure. You could.
Yeah,
say
he's
that.
probably got a small wiener.
No, tiny little wiener. Yeah.
Got a little bitty wiener.
Hey. I have a reasonable mid-sized truck that I use for work.
I thought you were going to say a reasonable mid-sized wiener.
Yeah. So with my choice, I used to have a Prius, if that tells you something too.
Oh my God.
So I went hybrid to hybrid. So I
So
don't
you're saying
need,
you had a vagina
I
first.
I don't need a giant truck or a Lamborghini. Some people do.
I've owned a Prius. It's okay.
Fantastic vehicles. Any hybrid. I feel like my hippie ass is saving the world one tank of gas at a time.
Yeah.
And it's not true whatsoever.
Nope.
Joel Luevano, you going to hang out for a little bit more?
I'm gonna hang out as long as you'll let me.
As long as there's beer here, he'll hang out.
Yeah, we got delicious Rio Bravo Mexican lagers here. So we're sipping on those. Thank you to our friends at Rio Bravo, friend of the show. Buck, you got to go on the other side of the glass over there and host a program on KKOB.
I do. I have to go over there and get studied up and hopefully not suck.
Well, you came prepared. I mean, I've seen your stack of notes. You're ready to rock.
I've got 5 hours worth of prep for a 2-hour show.
Also, you have 3 decades of experience in this field.
I've
You're going to be okay.
I've done this a couple of times.
Is that crayon that you wrote? That stack of papers?
Yes, it's all crayon.
Oh, that way you can't erase it. That's
That's right.
A lot of pictures.
Yeah.
A lot of pictures.
A lot of pictures. Big, got old eyes. Big pictures.
Duke City Championship Wrestling tomorrow night, El Rey Theater. For the friends of the show who have not been, elevator pitch.
It's the most fun you'll have for under $30 in Albuquerque. I can guarantee that. It's you buy the ticket and you go, you stand down in the lower bar. That's where everybody likes to hang out and party.
Same.
I mean, you can get the
I will be right there.
You can get the seats and get, in the splash zone if you want.
Sure.
But the party is in the premium GA tickets. And actually they're $25. 25
It's
plus,
still cheap.
maybe like $1, $2 service charge. Something.
You get 2.5, 3 hours of entertainment.
The most
That's less than $10 an hour.
I guarantee if you go down and you've never seen it before, you will not be disappointed. My wife, who is like a big curmudgeon when it comes to this kind of stuff, she kept asking me, she's like, why are you spending so much time in wrestling? And I'm like, you just got to go. We've got lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
You've got to go down. You've got to experience it. You've got to see it. And she came down, and within an hour, she came up. She's like, I understand now.
I get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
You're good.
The energy in that building is unmatched.
Crazy.
And
Duke
you've
City
never seen
Championship
Dan more
Wrestling,
loose.
El Rey Theater.
And you're going to be there.
I'm gonna be there.
Joel Uevano, Albuquerque Aardvarks. You got some interest in playing some rugby. He will recruit you.
I will. Yeah, I already started recruiting.
Aaron Buck Burnett, break a leg tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. When we get back, more Joel Uevano, the Albuquerque Aardvarks, and special guest on the program, my co-host on Fill in the Holes. You know him, you love him. Recently retired professional golfer Jay Choi joins us to talk a little sports and talk a little golf. Going to have a lot of fun in the 6 o'clock hour. Don't move a muscle. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM AM 610, the Sports Animal.
sports animal.
2 hours in the books, 1 hour to go. Happy Friday, friend of the show. Hope you have a great weekend planned. You should make part of your weekend plans, number one, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, Bullhead Park. Go watch the Albuquerque Aardvarks wrestle and tassel with each other, scrum it up against the Santa Fe Santos.
Playing rugby.
The Holy Santos
They
rugby match. And correct me if I'm wrong, it's free 99.
It's free 99, and you can bring some beer 99.
Yeah, baby.
Because it's okay to do that at this particular park.
That's obviously why you go there.
That's by design.
Obviously why you go there. And then go have a nice lunch with the fam. Go to the Aardvark Social. Go have a coldie.
Right there at the park.
Have a nice lunch with the fam, and then head down to the historic El Rey Theater.
I'll be there.
In downtown Albuquerque, New Mexico. Watch Duke City Championship Wrestling. It's hard to get a better day than that.
And both are family friendly.
Or, hear me out, go watch the Aardvarks. Go head straight to your favorite local golf course, squeeze in some holes, then go to Duke City Championship Wrestling, because we're going to be talking golf in the last hour, because I have my dear friend and my co-host on Dirty Boys Present Fill in the Holes, recently retired golfer, owner-operator of Clubhouse 18, Jay Choi, joining us on the program. What's happening, my guy?
Thank you. That was a good introduction. Thank you.
Absolutely, my friend. You got a tea time penciled in this weekend?
Anytime you want to go, let me know.
No, okay. You know I am in. We talk golf on the program, Joel, every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, right here on the Sports Animal. If you can't catch us live here on 610 AM or 95.9, we're on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, SoundCloud. You can catch us live on Instagram Live, cutting the program. You want to see how the sausage is made, join one of our Instagrams. You get to see it happen in real time. But yeah, we've almost hit our 6-month mark. We're really hitting our stride. I'm so happy to have, so many great fans out there, so many great followers of Dirty Boys Present Fill in the Holes. When we started this, Jay, me, you, and Max Machado, who, shout out to his kiddo. He's got a basketball game tonight. Couldn't join us this evening. But when we started this, I didn't think it was going to have the reception it did. I didn't think it was going to take off as fast as it did. Isn't it cool to see like the golfers of Albuquerque and the surrounding areas, basically anyone with internet access, how fast they took to this program?
Yeah, I was very surprised. I'm getting a lot of shout outs from friends saying, hey, the show's good. I'm listening to it for Saturday morning. They're trying to catch it live as much as they can. Because live is the fun part where you kind of you hear the before and after talk.
Right.
That's where it kind of gets like, ooh, some secret talks going there. So.
It's like you get the secret Patreon for free.
Yeah.
when we're cutting the show.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah, I know we've got a lot of people listening every Saturday morning, like live in between 8 and 9, right here on the Sports Animal. And then, a lot of people catch it whenever the hell they want on Spotify or Apple or whatever your favorite podcast is. Jay, for the friends of the show who don't know you, you played golf professionally for 15 years. Did I get that number right?
Close. 17.
17.
Well, I was actually Lobo before that. I was 4-year letterman at UNM.
Not only just a letterman, you were an All-American here.
Yes, I was All-American. I was part of 4 Mountain West Club championships.
Boom.
I think I might be the only person to have 4 rings of Mountain West Conference.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That is so sweet.
I'm going to be little.
So you were a Cali boy.
Yes, I grew up in California.
Southern Cali junior golfer, cut your teeth with some of the greats, and then you got recruited to UNM, and you fell in love with Albuquerque. Yeah. And then it's after you retired, you came back home and made Albuquerque your home.
Yep. Met my wife here, and I mean, we started. Let's try to end it.
Love that. So here. So you're the owner operator of Clubhouse 18. Will you tell the friend of the show a little about what Clubhouse 18 is and what you do?
So Clubhouse 18 is a private indoor golf studio. Private meaning both ways. It's a membership base, or meaning private, privacy. You're always alone, getting one-to-one private lessons. You could work on your game by yourself if you like to. So everything's kind of private. That's what it means by private indoor club.
So you can get like a monthly membership,
Mhm.
or you can do it lesson by lesson.
Mhm.
And
You have both options.
so how do the friends of the show who want to improve their golf game or want to just join your club, how do they get a hold of you? How do they find out about Clubhouse 18?
Go to my website, www.club18, club, CLUBONE, and number 8.com. And you can find lesson information, products on sale, and whatever you like to know.
And for the friends of the show who need some new equipment, who need some new fittings, who need some new lessons, I got a special for you right now, and we're rolling it out for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not sitting here listening right now, if you're hearing this in the future, it still applies to you,
Mhm.
however you're going to listen. But you put in promo code TMO,
Mhm.
which is obviously for 2 Men On, 10% off of equipment and lessons at Clubhouse 18. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I got that correct.
I'm not going to mention what brands are available at my site yet, but it is available.
But it's a good one.
It's not a bad one. And it is, the number of brands are increasing. So stay tuned and keep in mind that this offer is not going to go forever. It's for the friends of the show. Please enjoy it.
We will be reminding you of Clubhouse 18 and then promo code 2 Men On in the future. But right now we're breaking ground. This is breaking
Mhm.
news. 10% off equipment, 10% off lessons, 10% off fittings
Mhm.
for now,
Mhm.
until too many people get a hold of you and you get too busy and you quit.
I hope that's the case.
I want to know this private.
Mhm.
What are the acoustics there? Because
Ah.
I'm very bad at golf, and there's a lot of screaming and swearing. going on.
It's well isolated.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's I don't want.
I do have a whole wall full of the isolated panels.
Yeah, my method for golfing is I want to hit it as hard as I can
Mm.
every time, and then I'll scale it back to precision.
Okay.
And it got really expensive with the golf balls, though.
It does,
So
yeah.
I had to come up with a new method.
Just
So Joel comes from, I know you guys just met. Joel's absolutely incredible what he does for the Albuquerque Aardvarks in the community, and great brand online, super good at what he does. But he comes from the rugby world, where it is 110% effort all the time. And that might not translate that well into the golf world.
Golf teaches patience, though. Golf teaches patience, and pitching wedge is the only club that I really feel comfortable with.
Hey, then you play with pitching wedge as much as you want. I mean,
Fairway Joel, that's what they call me.
perfect.
Just keep it straight down. 12 shots.
Oh, fairway Jay? Okay.
Rugby, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Man, didn't Japan win the World Cup a few years ago? Like
No,
rugby.
they
World-
beat South Africa, which was like winning the World Cup.
Right.
Oh, that's what it was. 'Cause
Yeah, it was during the World Cup they beat South Africa, which is a big deal.
it was a huge rugby boom in Japan a few years ago.
From that one match.
Kind of. American football and rugby are popular in Japan, but I mean, this thing just took it off the chart.
Yeah, Japan's really good. They got a mixture of giant sumo-looking guys and quick guys and a few Tongans and Samoans on the team, and it's a pretty good mix.
They're gonna take anyone in Japan. Like if you're from an island anywhere close from Japan, welcome to Japan. Would you like to play rugby?
I didn't know Japan doesn't like to do that stuff and claim other nations as their own. That's not what they're implying, is it?
No, not anymore.
You know, I do have a golf idea, and I'm going off script here.
Okay, please do.
I think that 4 good golfers should have a secret tournament called Golfers for Schmucks,
Okay.
and see who can find the worst golfer to be their partner, and just see how it goes. Have you seen the movie Dinner for Schmucks?
I'm familiar with the movie. Yeah, you
Yeah.
try to find the biggest idiot and you bring them to dinner and let them embarrass themselves.
Right.
Whoever embarrassed themselves the most is the biggest schmuck.
And the person that brought that person wins
Yeah.
like a bet, a friendly wager.
So I think this tournament would work, but it would work once because you're going to blow your cover immediately. Because you can't just like golf poorly on purpose. You got to have bad golfers trying hard.
That's the game.
Yeah.
That's the game. You got to find the schmuck,
Yeah.
right?
Man, that would be so hard to find because everyone is. Everyone are.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
Well, compared to Jay, everyone sucks at golf.
I mean, the thing is, do you need to find a funny golfer, or is it actually like, I mean, people who seriously
I think it's a
try?
weighted score, like how they
Okay.
play, how they dress, how they act.
Okay.
You know, like their
I'm super into this.
their
Wow.
their confidence level compared to their ability.
Okay.
You know, that's a big.
That's a big
All right.
one.
I would,
That's
I would,
champion.
no, I would score very high on that one. My golf confidence is way above my golf ability.
I mean, there are a lot of guys.
I think
I
there's
can't
some
mention.
parameters. What does Zay think about this? Like this.
I'll tell you what, let's figure out what Zay thinks about golf and golfing for schmucks when we get back. Jay Choi in the house, 505-246-0610. Special one-off episode of Filling the Holes during 2 Men On time. We'll open up to all of your golf questions if you're out there driving around. You want to pick Jay's brain. Also, we're opening up to questions from Zay and Joel when we get back. You're listening to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal. Welcome back, friends of the show. Welcome back to Two Men On. Welcome back to 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Van Nunley here, Isaiah Johnson on the ones and twos. The Albuquerque Aardvarks, Joel Uevano still joining us. And, of course, you know him, you love him, co-host of Fill in the Holes, Jay Choi joining us, talking golf. A little special one-off episode of Fill in the Holes going down right here on the last hour of the week on Two Men On. Jay, so one of the things I love about this program is off-air conversations just spitting right back on it. I had an idea of what this segment was going to be, and we're going to scrap it because you had a great question, Jay. You know everything about golf. You know everything about qualifying and Q school, but you don't know a ton about the NFL, and you wanted to ask Zay a question.
Mm-hmm. Zay, how do you get drafted to NFL?
So there's a lot of ways. You mean just like from as a high schooler or just someone younger?
So like for example, like to get in the PGA, there's a series of tournaments you have to enter, and you have to be filtered, finishing top certain percentages every stage, X amount of stages, and then you move on.
Yeah.
I mean, is there some sort of qualifying can you get in to become an NFL player, or do you just have to be noticed and get picked?
So it's a kind of a combination.
Okay.
So it's gotten easier now than it was, say, 10 years ago because of the separate leagues and because of social media and the exposure. Like there's kids that don't get offers for months and months to a big time college, and then they'll go on Twitter and be like, hey guys, this is my story, can you guys help me get noticed? And then a week later the guy gets an offer, because Twitter and X is like the main app that college coaches use as far as recruiting, outside of like the transfer portal, the recruiting portal. There's no specific qualification, but the best chance is, it used to be the mindset of get to a big time college, which is still kind of the fact. Yeah. That's your best bet, is to get to a big time college, because they have the most resources and they're going to be the ones that know what it takes. But if you're truly good enough to get to the league, you could be at a D3 or an NAIA school, and if you just work and you figure out your own path, in your own way to become good enough to be an actual NFL player, then number one, you have to dominate. So you have to dominate on the field. You can't be average on the field. That's going to hurt your chances. If you're just dominating games, it's going to come across somebody's radar, and then they're going to look deeper and deeper, and they're going to try to find any reason to not take you. Like they're going to try to find every reason, and they're going to be really like cautious. Like, okay, what's his injury history? Does he do this wrong? Does he do that wrong? But they do that with everybody. But if you're a guy to Alabama, you dominate Alabama, they're not going to look super hard. They're going to be like, okay, well, it's a matter of when's he going to get drafted, not is he going to get drafted.
I think it's like a mix of pedigree coming into it, like raw talent and physicality. Because like there's some guys that you can see that they're going to be in the NFL as early as like AAU middle school. Like, so say like you grew up with a generation of like Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. We've been talking about those dudes since they were like young teenagers. Like they were the best in the country at AAU. They were the best in the country at high school. They're the best in the country at college. So like guys with like huge pedigree like that, they're kind of guaranteed.
Jalen Hurts had a huge.
Jalen Hurts.
He was very popular my senior year of high school.
And we're just talking about quarterbacks, but like every position group, there's like a top 20, top 30, top 40 of a handful of dudes. Like you just know that they're going to the highest level. But every once in a while, Joel, you'll get a guy with like freak athletic talent who plays a different sport like rugby. And they're like, wait, this dude's a freak athlete. Let's just pick him up and give him a chance. That happens too.
Oh, that does happen.
Offensive line of the Eagles.
Yeah.
Named Jordan Malata.
Yeah.
He was a rugby guy.
Yeah.
So
and then the kick returner for the Chiefs last year, I forgot his name, came from rugby. And then, there you go. Yeah. And then a couple years ago, there was another guy that they thought he was going to be like a linebacker type, but he ended up being like a special teams guy. came straight from rugby to
Well,
the
our
NFL.
buddy Tyson, who was on Lobos,
Yeah.
he was Australian rugby,
Mhm.
Australian rugby rules. Sorry, Australian football rules. And
Yeah.
then he led the nation in punts here.
Right.
Yeah,
I
and
mean-
then you've got your guys where like some aren't. If you're not that skilled, I mean, some guys just really maybe something happens or maybe some flip just switches and they just start grinding away like on their own where they're not originally good enough to be in the league, but they just do the right drills and they just really try hard enough and are persistent at their craft and get themselves. You may not be a star, but you could be like a good player. Like Kevontae Turpin for the Cowboys, he's recognized as he was a Pro Bowler for kick returning. And he played in the XFL a couple years ago. Like he basically, that's like the G League for the NFL. And he got into the NFL, got his shot, and then whatever he's been doing, he's one of the better kick returners. So there's a lot of different paths to get there.
Oh,
Who's the Arizona State running back? The
Cam Scatabo.
Yeah.
So where does he
Scatabo.
fall in all this? Is he
He'll get
like
drafted.
a
He's going to get drafted. Yeah, he's.
I don't
gonna
think
get
high,
drafted.
but he'll get drafted.
I
How
think he's
many-
underrated. I think he's underrated.
how
Agreed.
many backup players are there on a team? Like, say, quarterback. How many quarterbacks?
kind of
Two.
scout team?
Usually two.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
one
and
and
then one on the
backup.
scout team. Yeah.
Yeah, each NFL team, they have to fit
52?
a 53 man roster. So
Okay.
you want to make sure you built that in a smart way. Usually defense has more backups because they're running and chasing and tackling, so you got to keep
More
them
injuries.
fresh.
Yeah.
More injuries as well. But like they also like defensive line, you get tired because you're constantly sprinting after the ball.
I see how, because golf, there's no team involved. There's no owner of a team where someone
Yeah.
hire you to be on their team.
Correct.
It's independent contractor sport. So
Oh, okay. So you mean from that aspect, how do you get to the league?
yeah,
Yeah.
like I mean, like can you?
Scouts.
Well,
Okay.
Jay, run us through the process because a lot of people, even people who like the PGA Tour,
Uh-huh.
have no idea what Q School is or how you become a PGA player.
Yeah, I want the roadmap. I'm going to do this.
All right, so Q School. Q School is a series of tournaments that you have to go through to earn your spot on the PGA Tour.
Mhm.
I believe there are 4 stages, but one is called a pre-qualifier. So they just consider that as not really a stage. They just call it pre-qualifier to get into the qualifying school.
Yeah.
Because or else you're going to have people shooting 100. who has
You
money.
have to win some kind of tournament somewhere in the
Or-
country
or
to
you-
qualify to even get into Q School.
Yeah, or there is a tournament that's dedicated called Q School.
Okay.
Qualifying for Q School.
Yeah.
Or you play NCAA one, and
Do you have to shoot a certain score, or do you
you have to
or is
beat
it
the
just-
field.
So everyone could just be garbage and someone can make it.
Yeah, if everybody is garbage,
The best garbage person could make
we'll get by.
it. Okay. just curious.
But it's not just one site. There's tens of sites they do it. So one garbage site doesn't mean anything. It's like, thank you, PGA. I just give you my $8,000 of entry fee.
To get in the Q School,
Yeah.
to start the run of tournaments, because it's not just one to
Yes.
get in. You have top 10% of one or top 10 in one, you go to the top 10 of the next
It's usually
one.
about
Top 10 of the next one.
15%, yeah,
Okay.
move up to next level. And so there's say 20 stages in the stage 1, 20% of each gets to 10 stages of second stage, and it's less fields, less players. So you go through this 3-4 months of tournaments playing, and once you get to the final stage, you play for, I believe, 30 spots to get into the Corn Ferry Tour,
Right.
the baby tour. And I think the top winner and maybe top 3 players get directly PGA. It always kind of changes every year. So,
Sure.
but generally you go to the minor league of PGA, the Corn Ferry, and you play a year to get into the playoffs, like the Q Schools again within the tour. And you get into the mix of that, and you finish in top X players, and you are welcomed in PGA.
Does being on Twitter help?
Yes,
Yeah.
they start to do this where it's called an influencers program. So say you have 2 million followers, you could apply and say, hey, can I get a sponsor's exemption? So it's not the PGA Tour is going to allow you to come and play. It's the sponsor of an event will give you a spot to come and play.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like
Found my
But those guys usually don't make money because they're not pros. So
if you're like for example, the Genesis Open was last week. Genesis has somewhere between 1 and 4 exemptions, and they could give those out to people to play in the tournament that weekend, and then you get treated. You don't get a PGA card, but
you win. You do, yeah.
If you win, yeah, correct. You don't necessarily get a PGA card just for the exemption, but you get to play in the tournament, and you can make the same amount of money as all the other players. And if you win or you hit a certain level, you can be invited to the PGA Tour.
It's hard to do it in one tournament because I think the only option is for you to get the card is to win. Because if you finish second, say you earn enough money to keep the card, but I believe there is a minimum tournament requirement. You have to play X amount of tournament a year.
So this is Ricky Bobby rules. If you ain't first, you're last.
Correct. And this
for the invited players in a way. The Genesis Open is a little bit different because it's that flagship tournament deal where it's a limited field. There's only a few spots available, so they're not going to give this spot to a random person.
Right.
They're going to give to somebody like Jordan Spieth.
I think I want to talk more about this when we get back, because I think that's one of the beautiful things about golf is you don't have to be. To me, hitting a golf ball consistently over and over again at a high level is the hardest thing to do in all of sports, besides hitting a major league slider. So, but you don't have to have a special skill set. You don't have to look like a linebacker. You don't have to have a cannon of an arm. Anybody who wants to put in the work and has that little bit of mental edge and athletic ability can be a professional golfer, whether it's a PGA or Japan Tour or Korn Ferry or Live or whatever. Like, there's no specific skill set that will allow you to do that. And I want to talk more about that when we get back. You're listening to Two Men On, kind of listening to Fill in the Holes right now. Mostly Two Men On, a little bit Fill in the Holes, but where you're doing it is 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal.
So
More segments until we take it into the weekend. You're listening to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Van Nunley here, Isaiah Johnson pushing the buttons, taking your calls. Joel Uevano, the Albuquerque Yardbarks, joining us. Jay Choi of Clubhouse 1-8 and your favorite golf program, Filling the Holes, right here every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. If you can't catch it live, that's okay. Just like this very program, 2 Men On, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, however you get your podcast, we are there, both 2 Men On and Filling the Holes, Fillin, Filling the Holes. Jay Troy, when we left, we were talking about like getting in, qualifying for the PGA, getting into a professional tour. And one thing I think is beautiful and unique about the game of golf is, air quotes, everyone can do it. Mm-hmm. You can pick up a club, you can practice, you can get the lessons, you can get the correct equipment, you can put in the work, and you can improve your game up to a point where you could have that dream. Mm-hmm. Whatever tour it may be, whether it's like just a little regional tour where you pay money to get into tournaments and play professional golf and make money, all the way up to the PGA Tour, the LIV, the league you played on in Japan. It's a sport for everyone. Mm-hmm. And it didn't seem that way forever. It was a stuffy old white guy country club sport for a long time. And I think what we do really well on the program, Dirty Boys Present Filling the Holes, is we give you a unique perspective of what golf looks like now and what golf will evolve into. Because with, courses relaxing their attire, relaxing their dress code, relaxing their practices, because golf has been opened up to a whole new generation of golfers. Like we'll table that for a second, but let's talk about how some people just retire and take up golf. Like, you know what? I'm going to make the senior tour. And sometimes you have the talent, you got the chops, and you put in the work. Sometimes a guy who's been an accountant his whole life puts in the work and gets on the tour. Mm-hmm. This is a magical thing in golf that doesn't exist in any other sport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what's so great. Like, that's what I was asking Zay earlier. I don't think there's a way for individual, say, for example, football player, just because you catch ball well and you run fast, I'm going to be a wide receiver or whatever, and you start running and blah, blah, blah. You do all these things and hope that you get picked by somebody from scout from Cowboys. Yeah. I don't know if it could happen. Can it?
For the NFL? Yeah, it can. And
but that guy will be picked by some other high school or college by when he's 16, 15.
Oh, you mean in golf?
In football. Say if you're that good, you're already picked and you beat.
Well, okay. So in order to be on a college, they can be offered by a college team. Yes, that can happen. Like there are guys, like a lot of these freak athletes, like Lamar Jackson. I remember him going viral for doing something crazy like 10 years ago when he was in 8th grade. And he had an offer from LSU very, very early and some other schools really early. So you can't play until you're at the college. Ryan Williams, he's the guy that plays for Alabama, had a huge year. He's 17. He might be 18 now, but at one point in the college football season, he was 17 years old and he was dominating because he was able to enroll in college. So you can get there very early. And if you go to college and you're catching the ball real well and you're dominating.
But you can't do that when you're 40, though.
Right.
No.
Yeah. You can in golf.
That's what I'm saying. Golf, you can like a senior tour is possible.
Hey, Joel did it in rugby.
That's why you see all these guys that play NBA, NFL. That's why they go to golf.
Because we could do it at 40.
Put me in the slot. I'll take a few concussions across the center for sure. I'll be a sacrificial lamb for a few Super Bowls.
You're seeing this a little bit in baseball too, with mostly with pitchers. It's harder to do for position players and hitters, but like
the rookie,
like guys who like wash out of a college, who like train like there's a company called Driveline where they try to increase your miles per hour.
Mhm.
Anyone who throws more than 90 miles an hour and you're in your 20s, you're going to get a job in baseball. They're going to give you a chance in the lower minor leagues.
Mhm.
So like you're seeing guys like on social media, like throwing 90, 95, 100 miles an hour. And a team will see that video and be like, we're giving you a chance. Like we'll sign you to a incentive laden contract.
See, there's no
and they'll
chance
just put
in
them in the
golf.
minor leagues.
There's no chance in golf. No one will see you. I guess a little bit, yeah, because of social media now, maybe because you have 2 million followers that they want you, but it's not because you're freak of a nature because you have that many followers.
If
Now
Caitlin
you're
Clark
getting.
went
But
pro,
in golf, they vet.
she would draw money right away. For
If-
golf. If Caitlin Clark played pro golf,
Well, she tried golf once and she almost killed 2 cameramen. So
Yeah, that's a real thing that happened.
Yeah.
So you're saying in golf, like there can't just be viral videos of you just hitting crazy hole-in-ones over and over again, or maybe hitting like trick shots, and then like some golf scout being like, oh, hold on, like we want this guy on the board.
No, not gonna
Maybe
happen.
like what
one event, maybe to a tournament. One event to come and do a play, but
what if you come in and win?
Like a sponsorship
yeah,
exemption.
when you win, you can, but the chance of a person off of internet coming in and winning a PGA Tour event will be more like Earth is going to get bigger than sun.
I mean, you see it every once in a while, but it's like already established good golfers, like PGA course pros. Like every golf course has a pro. And you got to get certified by the PGA, and then there's PGA pro qualifiers. Like the big story a couple of years ago was Michael Block.
Oh yeah, the local pro goes to the major and finishes top, or makes a hole-in-one and finishes top 10, whatever.
Yeah,
gets the biggest news of the year.
Say like for baseball, or even be like you switch it up. Say for music, say like when Usher saw Justin Bieber at a really really young age.
Yeah.
Is it one of those? Is
all right, I'm not mentioning one name, but go ahead. I like what's going on.
Yes, Usher, Justin Bieber, or we'll go baseball. Like, so there's not. Do you could social media videos like
what's that guy?
Could social media videos like show you a guy at a very very young age like dominating? It's like, okay, this is a really good prospect, and we know he's going to grow into something that's going to be even more dominant. Like Joel said, Tiger Woods. Look at Charlie Woods. So like, are people looking at him like, okay, he's on a crazy trajectory, and based on the path he's going, he's going to be here. So we want to have him, or it's no?
To me, yes and no. You'll get the attention, but it's still merit based because you got to go to Q school, you got to win the tournaments, you got to qualify, you got to work your way up, and then you're there.
There's no team who owns you, or hires you. It's independent contract sport. Okay. So the chance given to you is never from an association or a group. It's more like you earned it.
Okay, you have to hit certain. So it would be like saying in football, it's like you have to have 2,000 receiving yards with 200 catches in order to qualify for the NFL. That would be kind of more.
Yeah, kind of, or come up with money and prove your point.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Because it's $8,000 or something to enter Q school. So they're saying, hey, you're good. Bring your money and just play. And if you don't get through, don't cry. It was $8,000 worth of try for you.
Yeah.
The results have to speak for yourself.
Yeah, it's your results. It's not like opinion based like with judges.
Yeah, it's not like oh, your swing looks good, so we're going to give you 10 starts.
Okay,
it's none of that. It's more like you shot certain score in series of 10 rounds of golf. Now you're going to get 10 tries.
Yeah. So the NFL is kind of like that when it comes to free agency, and like when owners are debating if they're going to pay you a certain amount of money, or they're like, okay, no, we're not paying you as much as this guy because he had this many yards and he is only getting paid this much, and you want to get paid more than him, but you only get this many yards.
I wonder if there's anybody on football ever got paid on a performance base.
Oh yeah, incentive-based
Yeah,
contracts.
there is.
Meaning you make zero in salary.
No, there's always a
Oh,
base.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
what I mean. Like
Because you could risk injury. So they're like, nah.
a PGA Tour, you have $0 invested. You spend all your money. You pay your own air flight. You pay on your own hotel.
Wow.
Everything on your own, right? Like there's no team paying for all that.
Yeah,
know?
no, NFL, you get game check no matter what.
Yeah,
You're getting
so-
a game check.
You miss a cut, you're in a whole $7,000 a week, $5,000 a week. You know, if you miss a cut. There's it's there are sponsorships like Titleist or Callaway who pays you X amount a year for you to travel, because it's going to cost you.
Uh-huh.
A PGA Tour player probably spends about on the lower side $300,000 a year for traveling, and a higher end player is probably mil.
Yeah.
So
That's wild.
If football's not paid unless you're like a walk-on for a college.
Yeah.
That's as close as you're going to get to that. You having to pay for everything. And then it's like you're just wanting to play. So you may not get money in return, where some guys will pay to walk on, but then they do good enough at practice, and then the coach is like, we're going to give this guy a scholarship. And then all of a sudden it was worth the investment.
Golf non-existent. NCAA existing, but as a professional, there's nothing. You go try, you don't make it, go home. You lost nothing. No. You lost a lot when you missed something.
You lost.
You lost, bro.
We got one more segment of this program and we get back. You're listening to 2 Men On / Fill in the Holes, Van Nunley, Jay Choi, Albuquerque Aardvarks, Joel Uevano hanging out with us. And of course, Zay Johnson doing production. More golf talk when we get back. You listen to 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. Thank you, friend of the show, for joining us on this fun Friday. A little happy hour provided by our friends at Rio Bravo Brewing, sipping on a little Mexican lager, having a lot of fun with it. Joel Luevino, the Albuquerque Aardvark, joining us. Jay Choi, Clubhouse 1-8, and my co-host on the golf program on this very channel, filling the holes. Isaiah Johnson doing all the production and answering all of Jay's NFL questions.
Yeah.
You feel like you got a better basis of knowledge on what it takes to be an NFL player, Jay?
Oh, much better. I didn't have any idea how to become an NFL player.
It's like so many answers, though. It's kind of hard to just answer.
True. Yeah. I'm kind of catching it. There's multiple ways to get in, but one thing for sure is you have to be a superhuman. It just can't be
100%.
Yeah. Or you got to just be exceptional at something.
Yeah.
Like you, and then but even kickers are
40s and 3.
Yeah.
So, elephant in the room.
Okay.
Where's Fred? Are you two having a spat?
Oh, no. He's got day job stuff. No, that's okay. No,
Like-
he's out helping kids.
Oh my gosh.
The sun would be black.
He could,
Fred
if,
and Van are having a spot.
yeah, I know, right? Cutest couple ever. No, he's out helping kids. I don't mind if he misses the program as long as he's out helping kids,
Are
and
they
that's
his
what
kids?
that's what he's doing right now.
Boys and girls?
Oh, he hasn't found his. He doesn't know where his kids are.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm assuming there's a bunch of them somewhere.
yeah.
So, Joel, tomorrow morning, Bullhead Park, Albuquerque Aardvarks, it's going down.
Albuquerque Aardvark Rugby Club.
Mm.
10 a.m. 30 men on the field fighting over an egg-shaped ball to get it from one end to the other. You're not going to have a better morning than that.
Hard agree. I've been to a few of these, and they're a blast.
You get butterflies,
Every time.
Joel? You get like nervous butterflies, or is just
Not anymore. Not anymore.
I mean, you're about to get hit by another
They're
200-pound dude
about to get hit.
flying.
Yeah.
Oh, they're about to get
They're
hit.
about to get
I mean, I see rugby just going at it like just full on without any protective gears, right?
That's
It's
wild.
I
Oh,
because
is it sponge helmet? Did you wear that?
I don't wear
headgear?
I don't wear pants. So the breakthrough for me was when I realized, wait, they're tired. Wait, they're scared. Wait, they're so I just have to, in my brain, I have to be less scared and less tired than my opponent, and it'll be fine.
Dude, you're on the Mexican rugby team, Joel.
Dude,
Like, that's a big deal.
I gotta give you
That's like me being on the Irish drinking team. I
I-
strike fear in the hearts of people.
I gotta give you this video.
Okay.
You may want to post it. I was playing against the Guatemala national team. I made like 20 meters, right? 2 different plays, 20 meters, right? And I just this guy goes,
What's a meter?
it's like
Is that about 3 freedom feet? Is that
yeah,
about
it's,
right?
it's like 20 large French fries.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
And so I just give this guy a forearm shiver to the head. He goes low. He had good technique, right? And then I go to the ground, and he pops up. He's from Guatemala, and he kicks me in the head.
Okay.
Kicks me in the head. It's on video. The referee just goes, 10-yard penalty.
Meter.
10 meter penalty.
You get kicked in the head and you get a 10-meter
Yeah,
advance.
and then
That's it.
Well, it was home cooking because we're in Guatemala.
Yeah, sure.
So forth. We do like a high tackle. It's a red card. But so anyway, we won. for the
Jay
record.
Choi, Clubhouse 1-8. Use promo code TMO. That is for 2 men on. 10% off of your website, whether it's equipment, lessons, fittings, whatever.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how do they get a hold of you?
You could email me.
Are
Or-
you going to give them the email?
I'm thinking about whether I should give it away or not. I'm kidding. No, it's theclub18abq@gmail.com or visit my website at
Give me your phone
www.
number.
I did, and it was not good. Yeah, I was getting some weird texts.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
www.club18.com, CLUBONE and number 8.com.
All right, you're the best in the business, man. If you want to improve your game, you need to step up your club game. You need some lessons, you need some fittings. You're the guy. You're the best in Albuquerque. We got Fill in the Holes tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Check that out. Friend of the show, stay safe out there. You guys are the best. Check out Duke City Championship Wrestling. Check out Albuquerque Aardvarks, 10 a.m. Bullhead Park. Check out the rugby. Whether you're a fan of rugby or you're new to the sport, you're going to have a blast with these guys. Check out Clubhouse 1-8. Jay is the best. Zay, good job today. Appreciate you.
Oh.
It's been a long show. It's been a long week.
Thank you.
Freudian slip.
You stay safe out there, friend of the show. Love you, Burke.